Hello and welcome to my new video related to Bitcoin education. In this video, I will compare proof of work versus proof of stake. The reference articles are why proof of work is a superior consensus mechanism for Bitcoin, and the second is Bitcoin is time from Dergigi. Let's start with a common statement that I heard so many times. Bitcoin consumes too much energy. It will be better if it moves to proof of stake, POS, instead of having proof of work. And while it is true, like as beginning, while it is true that proof of stake consumes less energy than proof of work, whoever has a good understanding of Bitcoin and a difference between proof of work and proof of stake will never make this statement. So this statement is just only because lack of education on Bitcoin. Reasons: proof of work technology first belongs to the core design. Secondly, to reach the goal of decentralization, proof of stake is not a good fit, and the primary goal of Bitcoin is decentralization. Third, proof of stake will move the power from miners around the globe to wealthy people in urban areas, leading also to centralization. Fourth, last but not least, before fiat money, one reason why a good or a commodity became money in the past, it was because producing more money will come at a cost. Let's start with the first reason. Bitcoin, proof of work is part of the core design. We can see here a quote from Satoshi Nakamoto, I think it was like in June 2009. He wrote, "The nature of Bitcoin is such that one version 0.1 was released, the core design was set in stone for the rest of its lifetime." And this is exactly, has been always true in these 13 years. In fact, proof of work together with the cap at 21 million Bitcoin, the halving pace that every 4 years the amount of Bitcoin every 10 minutes is reduced by half. Difficulty adjustment, digital signature, size of the blocks are all part of the core design of Bitcoin, and the core design will never change. People cannot just object, they need like live with it. It is part of the core design. And then second, in 2015, 2017, there was a big fight to increase the block size, and he generated a hard fork creating Bitcoin Cash and failed miserably, as every single hard fork of group of who would decide that Bitcoin needed something to change in the core design. So far, there have been only minor updates like SegWit. And also there could be some adjustment again in the future, but it will be just small. The core design will remain always the same. Let's now discuss about what is proof of work and what is proof of stake. Proof of work, it is a decentralized consensus mechanism first introduced by Bitcoin. We will use the Bitcoin network as an example to understand the proof of work consensus mechanism. This is from the article I quoted before. The Bitcoin network essentially requires members to contribute computing power, such as graphic processing units, to solve arbitrary mathematical puzzle and prevent anyone from gaining control or manipulating the system. Now let's move to proof of stake. Differently, it is a consensus mechanism. It's again a consensus mechanism used on blockchain networks created as an alternative to the proof of work method for validating transactions. In this mechanism, cryptocurrency owners can validate block transaction based on the number of the coins the validator stakes instead of miners validating them. So it's not how much power you have, but how many coins you have. Hence, this is called proof of stake. You put your money in stake and you can mine more Bitcoin. The validators in proof of stakes are chosen at random. To become a validator, one needs to stake a specific amount of cryptocurrency token required by that specific blockchain. So more Bitcoin you have, more probably will be that you will mine more Bitcoin. Let's here we compare. In fact, we say proof of work versus proof of stake. For block creators, miners instead of validators. A resource required to win blocks in one is energy, proof of work. Second is coins or tokens. Cost of participation for proof of work, cost of equipment and energy to run it. For proof of stake, cost of coins or tokens. The strength for proof of work, cost of equipment and energy provide a robust security. For proof of stake, energy efficiency allows more scalability. Weakness for proof of work, enormous expenditure of energy, while for proof of stake, the network control can be purchased. But we see that for proof of work, the weakness is not really a weakness because the energy consumption is the biggest misconception in the Bitcoin world, and especially the Bitcoin mining world. And for this, I recommend you to watch my video related to Bitcoin and energy consumption, where I explain in the details that it's not true that Bitcoin consumes too much energy and that Bitcoin is bad for the environment. What is true is that Bitcoin is adding energy is channeling more energy, so it's adding energy to the total world energy, allowing our society to flourish. And second, Bitcoin is helping and will help to fight climate change. But I don't go here in the details. If you want more details or you want to know more, please watch that video. It's called Bitcoin and Energy Consumption. Instead, we see that proof of stake weakness on the other side is a huge weakness because decentralization is undermined. The whole Bitcoin concept is undermined because network control can be purchased. The more Bitcoin you have, it's easier to create a network of wealthy people. Let's start now to discuss more into deep. The first criteria is security and data authenticity. Proof of work is superior than proof of stake from a security and data authenticity perspective. This is due to the fact that in proof of work, the data is connected to a proven history of human choices, which cannot cheat in a system that verifies every single transaction. This system works, in fact, with 0% trust and 100% of the transaction are verified and recorded of the network participant on a public ledger. So 0% trust, 100% authentication or verification. Proof of work is also a highly secure consensus mechanism because over a period of time, it makes the network more and more difficult to a point that becomes unhackable or practically unhackable because the network is constantly monitored by its participant, and these participants now they have skin in the game as they need to work to solve the transaction. And this makes the network extremely expensive to hack. And because more and more is difficult, more energy you need. More energy you need, more energy is needed also to alter the system in case you want. On the other hand, proof of stake consensus mechanism is more vulnerable to hacks and attack. In theory, if a network participant or a group of participants gets to a point of owning 51% of staked coins, this network participant or group could then essentially control the entire blockchain and alter it. This is termed as the 551% attack. And absolutely, we don't want this. Second, sorry, after discussing about data security, let's move to network ownership. Given the design of Bitcoin of mining, for getting rewards, the proof of stake model enables a decentralized structure. Bitcoin is, in fact, a great example of this. Bitcoin network is completely decentralized. No one person, entity, or country controls it. It is owned and controlled by thousands of nodes running the network in a decentralized and secured system backed by proof of work. This is what it is now. On the other hand, proof of stakes enables a more centralized structure. The participant who can stake more, often the rich, generally it's the rich, in theory can accumulate greater control just by staking more. This is a great risky proposition because if a group of participants eventually, again, gets to 51% control, they can alter the blockchain to benefit themselves. And yeah, that's so here is saying also, haven't we seen a problem with this kind of system already? Just open your eyes from the article and you will see that we have been living in this system for a while now. And where rich people they can become more rich and they also control more and more about the blockchain. Let's now move to the third criteria, incentive alignment and equity. The proof of work model rewards miners when they find the right hash, a block reward, and a share of transaction fees in some cases. This incentivizes the right behavior as the nodes are competing to solve the puzzle to get the reward. So there are all nodes, miners who are competing to solve to generate the right hash. The networks keep getting tougher and tougher, ensuring that finding the right hash requires greater computing power. This in turn make the entire network more secure and more expensive to hack or attack. So this incentive make the network more secure and more expensive to hack or attack. As the value of the cryptocurrency goes up, the value of the reward also goes up. Every miner on the network has equal opportunity of earning the reward, and in doing so, they continue to secure the network and make it robust. This entire setup incentivizes the right behavior and discourage forking, which is the creation of an alternative blockchain when the protocol gets updated. Sometimes, as I said before, it happened, but also every fork, every new coin failed miserably. On the other hand, in a proof of stake model, the incentive for getting the reward is just to stake more. This leads to the centralization issue with participants staking more, potentially getting greater control of the blockchain. So the more you have, the more you will probably have. So it encourages people to have more and more. In a monitored blockchain, this incentive leads to a bigger security threat with less decentralization and more susceptibility to low-cost attacks. So also here we see also from in terms of the incentive, it's not just the proof of stake, is also is less decentralized, but the incentive is also leading to a centralized world. Fourth one, test of time. Also, we know that proof of work. In fact, the proof of work model has stood the test of time. The Bitcoin network is a great example of this. In the last 13 years, the Bitcoin network has never been hacked or compromised in any way or form. And this is one of the strengths. Some exchanges have been hacked, but the Bitcoin network has never been hacked in 13 years. It's the world's most powerful network and it has stood the test of time from a network authenticity, reliability, and security perspective. On the other hand, proof of stake models are relatively newer and remain in the early stages, both in adoption and implementation. Also, there is a higher level of confusion around the feasibility of some of these models, as more and more variation are coming out that have not been fully tested. So Bitcoin has also stood the test of time. With proof of work, proof of stake didn't stand the test of time yet. Another important thing, as I was saying before, the energy consumption that is considered a weakness for Bitcoins is wrong. In fact, the opinion of the average person, Bitcoin consumes too much energy and Bitcoin is bad for the environment, is completely wrong. And as I said before, I explained the reality in the video, in the deep and why with details that I explained this in the video Bitcoin and energy consumption. In reality, we have five statements. Firstly, Bitcoin is not consuming the world energy. Bitcoin is providing a powerful market incentives for energy producers worldwide to increase the production of cheap and renewable energy. So Bitcoin mining is adding energy to the total world production of energy. Every time the society did a step forward in our civilization, the total energy produced increased. So it's helping in the society, in our civilization in doing a step forward. Third, Bitcoin makes the development of cheap and reliable source of electricity very rewarding, that is also completely renewable. Bitcoin is only technology that can use excess, and stranded energy. And then Bitcoin is contributing to fight the climate change. As I said before, I cannot go into details because that's not the scope of this video, but if you are interested to know why, you can go and check my video Bitcoin and energy consumption. Then we come to another philosophical reason. Producing more money should come at a cost. In fact, the biggest reason why we have chosen goods or commodities now in the human history as money, it was because they were scarce. Meaning not there were few of them, but also few, but most important meaning that it was hard to produce more money, allowing them allowing the good to become a good store of value, like gold, special stones. It was hard to produce the ray stones It was hard to produce the acrylic beads. It was or difficult to produce. It was hard to harvest the sea and find special seashells. And also, everyone know that it's hard to produce more gold. There are gold around the globe, but it's very expensive to produce. And proof of work is following this, meaning that to produce more money should come as a cost. Now, before we go to the conclusion, also there's also another reason is Bitcoin mining as a bridge between the digital and the physical realm. To use money in the digital realm, we have to rely on ledger. And this you should know a bit of blockchain. To make ledgers reliable, unambiguous order is required. And to establish order, the timestamps are also necessary. Therefore, if we want to have trustless monies in the digital realm, we must remove any entity that creates and manages timestamps and any single entity that is in charge of the time. The time is completely decentralized. That's why we have the blockchain. Is a magic, very great invention in order to have the time in the decentralized world. We need to use a proof of work system because we need something that is native to the digital realm. Once you understand that the digital realm is informational in nature, the obvious conclusion is that computation is all what we have. Is all we have. If your world is made of data, manipulation of data is all there is. Proof of work works in a peer-to-peer setting because it is trustless. And it is trustless because it is disconnected from all external inputs, such as the reading of clocks or newspaper. It relies on one thing and one thing only. In fact, computation requires works. And in our universe, works require energy and time. Without proof of work, one would always run into the oracle problem because the physical realm and informational realm are eternally disconnected. That's really profound and really also philosophical. You have the digital realm and you have the physical realm, and proof of work is the tool that allows these two realms to be connected. In fact, proof of work provides a direct connection between the digital realm and the physical realm. More profoundly, it is the only connection that can be established in a trustless manner without relying on a centralized authority. In fact, everything else will always rely on external inputs. And this I found also very profound. This is from the article Bitcoin is Time. And really, I recommend to read all the complete article. And it's not only this concept, there are many interesting concepts. Let's move now. We are at the end of the presentation. And let's recapitulate what we have learned and what we have said in this presentation. So first, proof of work technology belongs to the core design, and it was said also by Satoshi Nakamoto. Secondly, proof of stake would lead to centralization, the possibility of 51% attack. Third, and also the incentive is leading to 51%. If now we don't have 51% from few people, it will incentivize to become 51% with the same people. Third, proof of work stood the test of the time from a network, authenticity, reliability, and security perspective. Fourth, Bitcoin mining is misunderstood in terms of energy consumption, and it will take maybe a few years for the financial world to understand it. Fifth, proof of work follow the rule that producing more money should come at a cost. And sixth, proof of work provides a direct connection between the digital realm and the physical realm. I hope this video, we are at the end, I hope this video help you to understand which is the difference between proof of work and proof of stake and why it is important that Bitcoin remain in proof of work. Many thanks to have watched the video and see you in one of the next video. Bye.